Eh, not really my normal forte, but this dude's doing a live stream about he's a Magic the Gathering content creator, and he talks about other hobby uh, storytelling cards and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. And I put in a few comments about the future of AI generation and people making content based on like the old school Dungeons and Dragons. If you've ever read the books and instructions, there's a long story, I'll do it another time, about me. I learned how to play Dungeons and Dragons as a kid and never got to play it because of my parents, but I know how the random dungeon generator works and how the progression works and the combat and experience and statistics and stuff. So if you make a framework with that stuff and then say, hey, um, the story of who you are and where you're going, and like the Pokemon story, you're Ash the kid, and you are starting your journey with a professor, a mentor, and he sends you on the way to the big city, or the other guys are like, I'm being very vague in general, but you feed the story to the computer and tell it the outline of, you're a farmer kid from the tundra out in like the uh, Siberian wastelands, and you're coming into the city for factory work. You feed it the scenario, and it generates a role-playing game and multiplayer interaction for you and your buddies on the fly. Like the scenario and the lore and the culture in the game are what you created, and people have been doing that with Dungeons and Dragons for a long time. So AI to make an immersive digital experience based on these worlds and stories that people came up with in their own thing. And the dude thinks it's a good idea. Like he like he got what I was saying right away. And it's a thing. I've thought about that before too, because people get into Dungeons and Dragons and they make scenarios and tell stories, and you have the way I read the books on how it works with the your character and gaining experience and the basic statistics like your accuracy and hit points and attack and strength and armor piercing and elemental thing. You could have a framework and put your story into the framework, and your story is, there are many many groups of nerds that created a story and lore and names and countries and factions, and techno future Final Fantasy we're talking about, and there's also knights and wizards and old stuff, or you can even do cavemen and clubs, or whatever. It's the part of my religious thing with learn, create. You learn knowledge of reality, you make tools with your knowledge, and then you create art with the tools. This is the tools to make the art, and then great storytellers can come and make great stories. But the framework, I could see how I could design a framework that other people could come put their art in. I see it. I see the future. And dude literally was talking about me by name. And unfortunately, it's Colt 45 caliber. I will say this: growing up, Colt 45 was a more positive name. Why I didn't get that one said to me when I was being beaten or stripped or humiliated or something like that. Some of my father's military friends and shit. Colt 45 was better. But I avoid Cole altogether. Don't make a difference. But my original Call of Duty name was Colt 45 caliber, and the gaming channel was Colt 45 caliber, and that was just the way it was. And those are licensed names for me. But Docta Canis became like I changed the Call of Duty one to Docta Canis. Why? My personal thing. It's the best brand name I've ever come up with, and it sounds cool. But I own the rights to Colt 45 caliber, the correct spelling, the YouTube channel name. Years ago, I licensed that with YouTube, and it is on the account that's spelled wrong. But the YouTube / Colt 45 caliber is mine. So who knows what I'll do with that, whatever. It's my accounts and my titles and my brand names, so. But I do like Docta Canis. It's a good name. Sounds catchy. It's a good story with it means trained dog in Latin, if anyone didn't know. The Service Dog Rights Project inspired it, and I was playing with the translator and found that out myself, but Docta Canis just means trained dog in Latin, but it sounds pretty cool, and it's mine. I came up with that. Yeah, it's definitely the more stylish name. I prefer it.